Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Carbine Carlito and today we are looking at the USS Indiana. She collided with Washington, she blasted shorelines from Tarawa to Okinawa and guarded the mighty carriers that ruled the Pacific skies. This is USS Indiana, the American heavyweight that refused to back down even when things got messy. And in World of Warships, she's every bit as stubborn as her real-world counterpart. Agile, punchy, and built for close quarters mayhem. Now today we're going to dive into the history, the firepower, and the battle tactics that make Indiana one of the most exciting US battleships to command. So grab your coffee, raise the stars and stripes, and let's sail into history and victory. The USS Indiana BB-58 was the second of 4 South Dakota-class battleships. Laid down in November of 1939, she was part of America's answer to rising global tensions as the world edged towards war. When she entered service in 1942, Indiana wasted no time getting into the thick of it. Her guns thundered in support of the Marines during the Solomon Islands campaign, providing fire support and anti-aircraft protection for the fleets fighting around Guadalcanal. But she wasn't just a bombardment platform. Indiana served as heavy escort for the legendary fast carrier task forces, guarding the giants like Enterprise, Yorktown, and Essex, as waves of naval aircraft reshaped the war in the Pacific. Now, during the landings on Tarawa and Kwajalein, she unleashed her 16-inch main battery guns on Japanese defences, blasting entire positions to rubble. And while her guns roared in anger, fate had a surprise waiting in early 1944, a collision with her sister ship Washington. Now, this impact forced both vessels to withdraw for repairs, but even that couldn't keep Indiana down for long. Returning to the front, she fought through the Mariana and Palau Islands campaign, survived the Battle of the Philippine Sea, and later provided support during the Iwo Jima and Okinawa campaigns, the final great battles before Japan's surrender. After victory in 1945, Indiana helped with occupation duties before returning home, and by 1963 she was gone, scrapped but not forgotten. And today in World of Warships, the spirit of Indiana lives on, not just as a ship, but as a brawler built for players who love to push the line and take control of the fight. Yo, captains, would you like to help the channel grow and grab some sweet perks while you're at it? Well, you can join up for just 99 cents, unlocking custom emotes, loyalty badges, and even snagging an in-game super container. Click join today and become part of the fleet. So what most of you are here for is the question, how does this steel beast play in battle? Well, think of her as the sort of bulldog of the American battleship line. Compact, tenacious, and surprisingly nimble. So let's break her down captain style. In-game, Indiana is a Tier 9 fast battleship. Although fast might be a little bit generous, she's not exactly chasing cruisers, but her acceleration is excellent, meaning she gets up to speed very quickly, even though she won't win any drag races. She comes equipped with 9 406mm or 16-inch guns, the classic American punch, accurate and heavy. Indiana gets a very strong torpedo protection system, letting you shrug off torpedoes that would normally doom lesser ships. And the real game changer is the first hydroacoustic search on an American battleship. Now, hydro can give you that very crucial information in close quarters fights, spotting torpedoes or destroyers before they can ambush you. Combine that with her tight turning circle and solid rudder shift, you have a frontline brawling battleship that can surprise even seasoned opponents. Now, it's not all strengths, of course. Her weaknesses include a smaller hit point pool than you'd expect, and the top speed that makes chasing down kiting targets quite a chore. But these downsides fade very fast once you learn how to make her tank smart and not hard. So let's quickly just talk builds. Indiana will reward an aggressive but disciplined captain, so you do want a setup that maximizes survivability, accuracy and brawling efficiency. Now I popped up the build I'm using here on screen, and you can see main armaments mod 1, keeping those turrets alive under fire, damage control system because fires happen a lot. I'm using the secondary mod here because the American battleships don't get the ability to mount the aiming systems mod 1. I'm using the improved rudder shift, concealment and the accuracy mod because more shots on target will reward you greatly for aiming properly. Here are the commander skills. Just a quick glance again to maximize survivability and utility. This combination turns Indiana into a brawler that just refuses to die. So battle tactics I think is here where the real fun begins. How to actually fight with Indiana. Now you can kind of break it down into a number of sections, starting with early game. Now, depending on your spawn, you should usually practice patience and try and position yourself well. At the start, don't necessarily rush in, using your concealment and map knowledge to pick a flank that's likely to push. Indiana's not really a solo artist. She works best with supporting cruisers and destroyers screening ahead. Now, ideally, you want to be using islands to both mask your approach and give you a get out of jail free card when coming under heavy fire, and let your hydro cover the angles where you expect torpedoes might come from. Once the enemy destroyers are spotted or even thinned out, then Indiana feels even better. Keep your armor well angled and attempt to start closing the gap. Indiana's improved acceleration lets her dodge torps, swing her guns around fast, and punish any cruiser that shows broadside. So you want to keep your bow angled at about 30 to 35 degrees from any incoming fire, so you can bring all your guns to bear without eating those big citadel hits. Now her guns reload fast for her caliber, meaning you can trade shots and still come out on top. Your reload speed is just 27 seconds. Quite nasty indeed. Now when it comes to close range combat, this is where Indiana feels glorious. With your hydro active, repair party ready and your secondaries humming, you're an iron-plated wrecking ball. Now don't be afraid to push in on enemy battleships when you have the support to do so. Your torpedo protection is excellent. You will simply negate half the damage of incoming torpedoes. So even if you do take a hit or two, you live long enough to smash them with these 406mm broadsides. When you're forced to tank, angle smart, rotate your hull between salvos, and use your damage control party carefully. You don't want to be burning it too early, so simply let one fire burn. It is never going to really hurt you in the long run. Her cooldown is quick, but timing it well does make all the difference. Now by late game, your speed disadvantage matters much less. It's all about control at that point. Try and avoid being isolated and keep those guns pounding the enemy team, because they really are quite effective, this American heavy armor piercing especially. Indiana excels, in my opinion, at anchoring a flank or even breaking through choke points when others hesitate, especially when supported. So is Indiana a worthwhile addition to your port? I do believe so. USS Indiana might not have been the most flashiest of ships during World War II, but she was there every step of the way, from the Solomons to Okinawa. And in World of Warships, she's exactly what she always was. A dependable, hard-hitting warrior that rewards nerve, positioning and patience. So if you love the American fast battleship playstyle, where you tank smart, brawl hard and turn the tide for your team, Indiana I think will fit into your port perfectly. From Tarawa to the Tier 9 seas of World of Warships, Indiana reminds us battleships may fade, but legends never sink. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive into USS Indiana, hit that like button like a 16-inch salvo. Subscribe for more historical naval guides and ring that notification bell so you never miss the next voyage. And remember, captains, don't just float. Fight smart, keep your powder dry, and keep sailing it like you stole it. And remember, for the price of a cup of tea, you can join the channel from just 99 cents. You can unlock unique emotes, loyalty badges, and an in-game super container, plus my eternal gratitude when the battle gets tough. Hit that join button, you legend, and become part of the crew.
Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, direct front.